What's good, Ravens fans? Today we're reacting to some caller calling into the Rich Eisen show and talking nonsense. Let's jump right in. I think I'm going to get upset with this. Remember to subscribe, please. Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
You know who you were watching last night in the Super Bowl? You were watching who Lamar Jackson was supposed to be. I mean,
What a take.
Dylan's setting the Eagles up for a nice future. I like the kid.
What a take.
Hard not to like.
What a take. Interesting.
Idiot. No, not what it take. Idiot. You're a bona fide idiot. If you watched the Super Bowl, you saw something that I was furious at. Only one touchdown throw was a touchdown throw that was a hard throw to make. The first one from Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce. Every other touchdown, wide open. I don't mean to yell. Wide open. Why doesn't Lamar get that? He's going to say Jalen Hurts is who Lamar wants to be. You're an idiot. Because guess what Jalen Hurts has? Jalen Hurts has 2 1,000-yard receivers and 1 1,000-yard running back. How many 1,000-yard running backs did the Ravens have this year? I don't care if they were injured or not. Answer my question. 0. How many 1,000-yard receivers did the Ravens have this year? 0. Dallas Goedert, I believe, is the tight end for the Eagles. He's a good tight end. Not as good as Mark Andrews, but a good tight end. If Lamar Jackson, if you swap those two teams, if Jalen Hurts was on the Ravens, he would not even be close to what Lamar can do. If he had the offensive mind, wouldn't even be close. But if Lamar was over there with a great offensive coordinator, with a great defense, with a great receiver, 2 great receivers, and a good tight end and a good running back, they would have won a Super Bowl. 100% believe that. This call is an idiot, but let's see what Rich has to say.
That, Lamar was that for a season. He just hasn't finished. He hasn't finished.
Nope.
But yes, Jalen Hurts, what you're saying, and thanks for the call. What an interesting take that is right there.
I like it.
Do you agree with it?
I kind of do.
I can see where he's coming from.
Well, what he's coming from, I think what he's coming from is...
Also, too, Rich, the Ravens don't have Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown.
Bingo. Bingo.
Thank God. Thank God someone said something. I was going to break something. I really was. Thank goodness. Jesus.
Go.
They have Dallas Goedert. Mark Andrews is one of the top tight ends in the league.
Correct.
They don't have that outside deep threat that we saw that Hurts took advantage of.
Steve Smith will tell you, anybody will tell you, well, they're not going to get, like A.J. Brown didn't want to get traded to Baltimore. Devontae Smith wouldn't want to get drafted to Baltimore because receivers in this offense aren't thrown to in that regard. But Lamar,
but that had to do with Greg Roman and the system that they decided to run there.
So Lamar had an MVP season in that system. It happened.
And didn't win a playoff game that year, though, right?
Well,
So
is that on Lamar? Is it? I just don't remember the year where he was the MVP and he
I don't know.
lost.
The Chiefs were supposed to be West End this year. Mahomes was MVP and they just won the Super Bowl. So yeah, it kind of is on Lamar.
And what he's saying is like for a running, throwing quarterback.
Again, it's not just the fact that. Well, first let me start here. You can't compare Patrick Mahomes to anyone. Patrick Mahomes is the top. Patrick Mahomes is having the best start of a career anyone's ever had in the history of the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is in the ballpark of his own. However, there has not been a quarterback that's had a more impressive 3-4 years than Lamar Jackson. When you look at wins, now injuries if you're talking about injuries, that's one thing. But guess what? Jalen Hurts ain't making hard throws. Jalen Hurts ain't making hard runs. Okay, you see that offensive line? You see what they were doing on 1-yard runs? They were killing those teams. The Ravens are always injured. Can we say that? Can we say for the last 2 years that half of both seasons, the Ravens haven't had any good receivers or any good running backs? And only one good tight end and half the offensive linemen were bad? Can we say that? Because they were hurt and being replaced, but no one wants to say that. What is up with this? Maybe I need to come in and I would say, hey, you're right. But also, let's look at the game logs. let's go through. You tell me each game J.K. Dobbins was in. And if the answer is 50%, that means your best running back isn't there 50%. You tell me what receiver is the number one receiver in the NFL. And then you tell me about, how a tight end who's getting double teamed because he's the only one that can, what do you do? It's just crazy. And then and then we're going to break down the film too. Let's look at the plays. Let's look at when it's 3rd and 10, everyone's running a 10-yard curl. Let's look at that. And Patrick Mahomes got people flying everywhere. Come on now. It's just not right.
For a quarterback who's got a deep ball and has, who's got a terrific arm, but also a lethal run game that not only must be respected, but does lead to a passing game to be more open because you have to worry about this guy running on you. And it also opens up the run game. To see Hurts perform that way in a Super Bowl at every level where he's joining a list for rushing touchdowns with Terrell Davis and then passing total yards and passer rating with Young and Montana in the same game, that's what the Ravens hope Lamar can be. But Lamar...
He had a good game. I'm not taking that away from him, man. He had a good game. But one good game, even if it's the Super Bowl, doesn't neglect the fact that this is his best season, and it came when he has 2 1,000-yard receivers. What are we talking about?
Lamar hasn't finished 2 years in a row. And Hurts got hurt in his shoulder, not his legs. And even with that hurt shoulder,
throwing bombs.
Oh my God! And not just deep balls, but accurate.
Yeah, dropping dimes.
Deep balls.
There were no dimes thrown. It cannot be a dime when there's no defender within 10 yards of the receiver. Come on.
So, what do you, if you're the Ravens trying to look for a new offensive coordinator, do you just take someone from the Philadelphia mindset and say, go to work?
Right? Deep threat, man.
Well, you want to do that? Because what's Philly's doing right now, don't you think the Ravens can do that?
Seems like
they just need weapons outside.
Right. They kind of need to change their philosophy from what they've done the last few years. Run, so run heavy.
But so are the Eagles.
Yeah, but the Eagles throw deep. They throw deep. I mean, A.J. Brown broke the Eagles' record for receiving yards this year. Like, they throw the deep ball.
And here's another thing too, right? Look at the stats, and I'm not wrong about this, and I'll look this up as well. I don't believe that Jalen Hurts is the leader in rushing yards on that team. I think they have a running back who has more rushing yards than Jalen Hurts does. That's not true for the Ravens. See, so it's not the same, and it's messed up to say it is the same. It's messed up. It's not right. It's not right.
Devontae Smith, did he have 100 catches? Felt like it.
Devontae Smith last night had a hell of a night.
Also, Richie,
I got this number here. Hold on a second. He's the first player to ever have 100 or more receiving yards in both the college football national championship game and a Super Bowl. Became the third player in the Eagles franchise history to have 100 or more yards in a Super Bowl. T.O. and Corey Clement. How about that? A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, just the 9th pair of teammates in Super Bowl history to have 90 or more receiving yards in the Super Bowl.
Devontae Smith had 95 catches this year, 1,200 yards.
Dude. Well, Ravens got to get those guys for Lamar.
Got to get those guys. But they had to change the scheme a little bit. Just a little more throwing the deep ball. So a little more less run heavy.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel.
Guys, I just don't like that. That made me upset. It's not right because the truth of the matter is Lamar does much more than Jalen Hurts does at a higher level with less talent. And to just ignore all of that is just crazy to me. And don't, Ravens fans, let that talk get in your head if you want to, and see what it's going to be like with a full season of Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, not Lamar. He wasn't Lamar in college. He's not going to be Lamar in the NFL. And we are going to be hurt at the end of the day if we don't have Lamar. I really think that. So you guys let me know in the comments below what you think. Go Ravens.